in the start of your blessed life. It's not an accident or chance that you are here. God brought you here today to the place where He is Lord and King. He's orchestrating a blessing for you. We welcome you to Kingdom Life. We welcome you to Kingdom Life. Your blessings here. We welcome you to Kingdom Life. We welcome you to Kingdom Life. You're welcome here.
Well, good evening, Kingdom Life. As you can see, Apostle is not here this evening. We gave him the night off. So you guys just work with us. It's me and the girls this evening. It's the girls' night. Okay. Y'all laughing at me. Please make sure that you like and share on the video tonight. And please also let us know where you're watching from. Thank you, Mother Hannah from Topeka. Monica from Topeka. Thank you for sharing where you're watching from. And we also want to tell you about our church times. Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. is our celebration service. Tuesday is our Real Talk Tuesday, which is at 7 p.m. And then Wednesday is prayer at 7 p.m. Also, on the first and third Monday is our women's Bible group. And if you want to be a part of that, please let us know and we will get you the information. We do it live on Zoom. So let us know if you want to be a part of that. So, and that's at 7:30 p.m. I'm sorry, on the first and third Mondays. All right. Also, so it's me and my girls this evening. We have Janet over here, my eldest, Elder Janet. Then we have R, who is the middle baby. And then we have Desi, who is the baby girl. Okay. I'm excited for them to be on with us tonight. This is our first time doing this without Apostle. So let us know how we're doing. Should we? We might not want them to tell. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. But on tonight, we are going to be talking about family dynamics on this evening. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay? Are y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. So family dynamics. When you hear that, what do you think of?
The different things that make a family.
Okay. Y'all agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Different parts, components.
Different components of the family. Okay. So what parts of what do you think is vital in family dynamics? I'm talking to all of y'all. Anybody can answer.
I think one of the biggest thing is communication.
Yes, communication.
Yeah, being open and honest and just considerate about but communicating how you feel.
So you feel like communication is one of the vital pieces. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was my answer.
What about you, R? Communication. That you don't think there's any other parts that play a role in it?
I mean, of course, like keeping God first in the center of your family at the head, and then
I think individuality is important.
That is. Yeah. Why do you feel like it's important? Monica says love, kindness, and support.
I think individuality is important because no one person is exactly the same, and everyone should be able to express
and be comfortable within yourself, like to be yourself.
Right.
Especially with your family. If you can't be yourself with your family, then
who can you be?
Yeah.
But family dynamics. Everybody's family dynamics are so different. And the way that you might have seen our family dynamics could be something totally from how Janet's seen our family dynamics. let's say like my family, my mother is a Gill and my dad is a Jones. You know, those are two different family dynamics that come together or whatever. But within the Gill family, there's hundreds of other family dynamics within that. And same thing with the Jones or whatever. There's so many different dynamics. Tell us your family dynamic.
Mine?
Yeah. What is yours right now?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've got James, right?
Well, I'm just talking about just you.
Oh, me and my kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was at Abbott, and then my husband's at Asher's Thomas. And then we've got two sons who, they're both of ours, Matthias and Josiah. That's it. Little box.
She said a little box. Okay, Elder Janet, what is your family dynamic?
Mine is me. Pretty much. I mean, besides,
right.
Besides
us.
Reaching out to everybody.
Right. And R, what is your family dynamic?
Then my 3 girls, Faith, Samara, and Isabel.
You forgot one.
Oh, and Buttercup.
Buttercup is family. Monica said family's not always blood relation. That is so true. My family dynamic is, I have 4 children, 1 son, 3 daughters, and then I married Apostle. So we became a blended family.
Right.
So let's talk about before Apostle came and then after he came. What she said? Oh, yes, Mom. She's still an Abbott. She's always going to be an Abbott. She's not going to deny that. So, who wants to start?
You want to know?
I can't start because y'all know I have.
Yeah, you never remember anything from childhood or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think you was pretty much okay with it. Janet, how did you feel? I know we've briefly talked about it before.
I mean, before I was fine with my mom and my sisters and my brother. He was, but and so I was comfortable with that and comfortable with my role in our family.
What was your role? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As the older sister, and I had more responsibility, and I took care of my sisters and my brother, but not really because he didn't listen. But I cooked and I made sure everybody did their chores, and I was just there, helping them through life, grow up, and everything like that. And so I was just basically my mom's helper, pretty much. And then after my mom was getting ready, they was ready to get me and everything, and she'd come and told us and everything. Well, I just started crying, and I was like, I don't want him to be in our life, because not that it was because he wasn't our dad, or I felt like that because some kids feel like that, but no, it was just like, I'm happy with us. We don't need him to make it. That's how I felt.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And it was just, I think it was just an overwhelming thing for me at that moment in my life, because I don't think I was prepared or ready for the change at that time. There was I don't think it was a gradual transition for me. It was just bam.
It just kind of happened because I really didn't let him come around.
Yeah.
So it was kind of abrupt for you guys.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. And we try to we did try and take in consideration that she was really upset about it. How did you feel, R?
I just went with the flow.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. Okay. That's what we're doing. Okay.
I don't really remember how Ray felt. I don't think Ray really cared one way or another. And Desi,
She don't care. Why she had her toys and snacks.
That's still how I am.
as long as you got your toys and snacks, you're good. Okay. All right. So it was a hard transition somewhat for me because like Janet said, she was like my right hand. Anything that I couldn't accomplish or get finished with during the day or whatever, or the time span I had before I had to go to class or to another job or whatever, she would kind of take over. And when she was upset because we had announced that we were getting married, it bothered me. And I started having some second thoughts. I was like, okay, am I doing something wrong or whatever? But I felt like I knew that what I was doing was right. But I didn't want my children to hurt in the process. But I was like, we're going to have to work through this, because change is apparent in everybody's life. It's going to happen. There's going to be some change. And so I was like, we're just going to have to figure out how to work through this or whatever. So that's basically for me. And then it was an adjustment because not really having to answer to someone and then answer to someone and then him not knowing how to cook. That affected the kids a lot. Because if I didn't cook before we went to work, and he was feeding them hot dogs every day. And finally, Janet pulled me aside and she's like, Mom, we can't eat no more hot dogs. So, yeah. I said, well, why don't you cook? She said, he don't let me cook. And so I went to talk to him and told him, hey, Janet knows how to cook. Let her cook or whatever. They can't be eating hot dogs no more. So, yeah, because the hot dog thing is just, yeah, it's not for me. Hot dogs was a snack.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a whole process for all of us because he was trying to do his part.
He was trying his best.
Which, he's like, hey, I'm here, so let me cook hot dogs.
He cooked them every kind of way you can cook a hot dog.
Yeah, and so, he was trying, and then, when he realized that I could cook, then it was like, all she wrote, okay, you cook.
Yeah. You had to cook every night then.
Yeah, and then
Still.
and then after we all had to basically fill out our roles, because I was used to having to get up and help my sisters and everything like that, and so it was different because he would wake us up.
Everything was shifted.
Yeah, everything shifted.
Yeah, it was totally shifted because
your responsibilities changed, basically.
It was, I don't want to say it was crazy because it wasn't necessarily crazy, but everything shifted for everybody, the different responsibilities. I think everybody's responsibilities shifted except for Desi and R.
Yeah.
So it was my responsibility shifted. His Apostle's responsibility shifted. Ray's responsibility shifted slightly. I think the person who took the biggest shifting was you. Because you were the one who, like I said, when I wasn't there, you was always in charge or whatever. You always made sure everybody got their chores done. Because Ray's responsibility was to wake everybody up in the morning. Make sure the car was heated up. Ray took the trash out or whatever, But then everything shifted for everybody. And I think
I just had to learn how everybody worked together, basically.
Yeah.
And form a whole family unit, which was a process.
Yes.
And it took some time.
It took some years.
Yeah.
It did. I feel like it took some years too for the adjustment to take place. But I think now, looking at it now, I think we do pretty good. Even though all of y'all are grown and got your own families or whatever, I think we still kind of work together pretty good. Because, we all working together in ministry. So, and everybody pretty much has a role there too. So how y'all think the family dynamics are right now?
I think that's the question for the end.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get into what dynamics are.
Okay. All right. Huh? Go ahead.
No, I don't have nothing.
Oh, you want to ask the question?
No.
Okay.
It says, would you do it over anyone?
Would I do it over again? Yes, I would. That's what it's supposed to say. Yes, I would definitely do it over again, because that's the one thing. If I'm not confident in anything else, I am confident that I heard God, that Apostle was my husband, and yes, I would do it all over again. What you mean can't nobody deal with me?
I say, can't nobody deal with you, but you.
I don't necessarily think that. Hello, Sister Patricia. I don't think that that's necessarily
Well,
true.
it's not completely true, but ain't nobody gonna like treat you like he treats you.
No,
Ain't
no.
nobody gonna be able to. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, it took us a while to
He's
get there.
grown to know who you are.
Yes.
And how to deal with you, and yeah.
You what? Explain that.
Because do you really want me to explain?
No, I really do. I want you to explain that.
Because okay, I guess some of it might be his fault because he has spoiled you now like so much that like sometimes it's just like you be on one and then he catches a lot of
He catches a lot of what?
a lot of just yeah. So in that he's like very patient. He's most of the time like all I've seen him be like really calm and concerned.
One thing
Because
that
he didn't used to be like okay,
go ahead, no, finish your sentence.
Well,
He didn't used to be like
he didn't used to be like as like calm and
Patient.
and like but now like he's learned to be that way, and especially like with you, and so like it's just like I don't know, that's all I'm saying.
I
like,
think Dad took very seriously that your daughters or your children are going to look for the person who's their mother or father figure in their life. And so,
What? You're spoiled too, so I don't
that's
want to
what
hear
I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
Like Dad spoils you, and I feel like, I should have these same opportunities. So like when Amazon comes by, they better be fooling around here. Or
yes, Monica, they always throw me under the bus.
Yes, yesterday I had you buy me some Rice Krispie treats, and yes, I'm asking for more today.
Oh, okay.
I said what I said. But the thing about like your parents, they kind of model in a way who you would like to be in some aspects of your life.
You got to take some of the good, and you
definitely got to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Take some of the good, and your parents should pray off the bat.
Yeah.
And that's why parents should pray, because we know who we are. And we don't want that for our children.
But I personally don't think that I'm necessarily spoiled. I really don't. But the status that I'm at, I believe I've earned it.
What is that, golden?
Well, I mean,
golden stage.
I mean, y'all have gone through a lot, and you do deserve the best, and he tries to give that to you.
He really do.
Ability. But sometimes I'm just like,
so what you mean? You're like what?
Because sometimes you be over the top.
How is it that I be over the top? Because you said earlier that we should be able to express.
Yes.
So I just be expressing.
Okay.
So is there something wrong with the way that I express things?
Sometimes, yes.
How is that?
Aggressive.
It's a little aggressive. And like what Desi was saying, like looking up to your parents and the relationship with that. Because at first I didn't and I'm just gonna be honest.
No, that's
because
Real Talk Tuesday.
We was literally going through a rough patch. We literally going through like a rough patch, and in certain time.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, nah, I don't want that type of.
Skip over that.
Over what?
That
really
patch.
the patch.
I'm not gonna go through the details like that. But I'm just saying,
like you want to skip over.
Yeah, you want to skip over it. Exit
Yeah.
that one out, and then But I mean, I know
it was a learning experience.
Yeah, I know in any relationship, which that gives you an example. Like in any relationship, it's not gonna be perfect, but you grow and you things come together over time.
Yeah.
So
And when you're going through that rough patch, you be like, I know it was several times I was like, I don't see us making it. I said, God, I don't know what you got me into. You made me promises. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
But that's because I was in self, and I went into the marriage with like a specific expectations, and when I wasn't seeing those things, I was like, okay, God, did I not hear you? You start questioning, okay, did I hear God? But I knew without a shadow of a doubt.
That's the thing. People.
Yes, Sister Jack Johnson, because that's called growth. Yeah.
People think marriage is just all happy-go-lucky.
It's not.
And it's you have to literally. It's like you think you know everything about this person. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. I want to spend the rest of my life.
Right.
Which could be true.
Yeah.
But then you get in a marriage and it's like, do I know them for real? Do I know myself?
Well,
and it's kind of like you have to peel back layers, and they're still getting to know each
it
other.
says,
And then there's the changing.
love.
There's the changing phase where everybody is doing.
Yeah.
It changes. Everything changes, and marriage is not straightforward.
It's not.
You have to listen. You have to read. You have to communicate. You have to fit. You have to be in tune with the spirit.
Yes.
Because if you're not, it's gonna go all
the Bible says,
all south.
love hides a multitude of faults.
Yes.
Let me tell you, it hid a whole bunch of
Put a
them.
whole coat on.
Yes, it did. And I'm not talking like
you
he
didn't have that.
right. I'm not talking like he was just a horrible person, but I'm just like, okay, God, you didn't prepare me for all this,
Right.
because you guys know I was married before, and that marriage was just horrible, and then I was going through some things with Apostle, and I was like, this ain't what you promised me, God, and like I said,
because you're expecting the end result of perfection.
Yes.
And the thing that you have to grow and learn to get.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with well, it's not exactly the same, but kind of the same with each member of the family. We all grow and we all move different in stages of our lives.
Yeah.
And we have to relearn this person, or
Yes.
we understand why they feel this way, or their perception of how a situation or thing played out in life.
Because everybody's perception is so different.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you're sitting in a church service, what I got out of it might not be what you got out of it, or so on and so
I like
forth.
what Sister Patricia Jack said. She said our experiences are designed to mature us, and I believe that wholeheartedly, because even though you get in the marriage and stuff starts to be revealed that you weren't prepared for, when you embrace that revealing and you're ready to change, you learn something new from this.
You do.
You grew from that.
Yeah.
You knew that and you didn't know that before.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I totally agree with that, because it was sometimes I questioned, but I was like, God, I know you told me. I know you told me to marry this man. So why is all this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we going through all this? But I stuck in there. Woo! What?
I think. Oh, go ahead. One thing that we have to pay attention to when we are facing something, we have to take ownership in that something.
Yes, take some
Because,
responsibility.
Sometimes you say, God, this isn't what I asked for. And you have to also say to yourself, maybe it is what I asked for.
Right.
What did I do to bring this on?
Come on.
What
That's
did I
true.
do for this to happen? And
That's
obviously
true.
it's something I need to work on.
So you were saying that I needed to work on some things too.
That goes for everyone.
Yeah.
No matter the situation, that goes for everyone.
So you wasn't singling me out?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'll speak for myself.
Oh, okay.
Yes, take ownership in what is going on.
Yeah, and that's basically what ended up happening with us. We took ownership, and that's when our marriage started to shift and level out and stuff. When we started taking responsibility for our own actions, the things that we said, or our actions, or what have you.
And that goes all the way back to the whole family dynamics with family issues and whatever's going on between mother, daughter, sister, brother, no other brother.
Yeah.
Father, daughter,
Yeah.
father, son, whatever it is, we have to take ownership in our own actions and see what we did wrong. And even if it's nothing wrong, fine, you maybe you do have a little bit of hatred in your heart because of what happened. That's still wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we need to find ownership? And that's when we move forward. Doesn't this have to be marriage?
No, it doesn't.
Or you hope you may.
But y'all pray for me with these girls. I like what Sister Patricia put on here. She said sometimes we go through because God is working on the hearts of both individuals in the midst of the situation. That is so true. And that's basically what I was saying, that, God started working on us as individuals, because, we have to work out individual things so we can come together and then work together to mend those things together.
Janet wanted to move on to
having a soft or strict parent.
Ooh.
So, what do you feel?
Okay, to be honest, I know most people thought I was a very, very strict parent. I don't necessarily think that I was a very strict. I was in some aspects, but I really feel like I was soft and I was lacking. And that's when Apostle came. He brought that other piece.
I don't really feel that you were soft. I feel like you were very protective.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of structure and everything like that. And because you're a very organized person.
Yeah.
But I think that he did bring a different aspect, especially as far as discipline.
Yeah.
And what that looks like to us, because it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because we didn't necessarily see a lot of things that he was bringing to the table at first, and then it eventually came together. But yeah.
What do you think? Because you've been awful quiet this evening. So do you think that I was a soft parent, or what? In your own opinion?
I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think you were soft though. But you weren't strict either. I think it was kind of a mixture of both. Yeah. So yeah, but it's
well-rounded.
Both you and Dad. So but y'all balance each other out. Janet said. So it worked.
What are your feelings and your thoughts on that? You probably thought I was strict.
No, not really. I'd say
Tell me why. Shanda trying to get something started.
I have an in between about it too, but it's a little different. Okay, so you guys had rules, but they were all I don't know. I can't remember if I understood them then.
Right.
But they make sense now. And none of your rules were so bad. And I didn't even have a desire to break those rules.
Right.
So it didn't seem strict to me because I didn't have a want to venture off. I remember one time I was with a friend. It was my best friend. And she was going to a party and I was like, whoa, wait. I didn't know she was going to the party, but I was in the car where her dad was dropping us off. I was like, wait, I don't do this.
Yeah.
I called my parents and was like, we're at this party. And I know I'm not supposed to be a party, so can you come get me? And then y'all were like, oh, we knew you were there. We just want to see what you would do. And I literally was just like, oh my God. Who is raising me? You're letting me be here. No, but you guys were clear about the rules, and since I didn't have a desire to break them, it didn't seem strict or whatever. But to my friends, they were like, whoa, for real? And I'm like, yeah. But you know what? Senior year, when y'all met Stacy, when y'all met Stacy, y'all were like, yeah, just go. Pretty much just kicked me out the door.
What? No, that's not necessarily true. And Patricia Jack said maybe firm. Considered that I was more firm than anything. Is that what y'all trying to say? Yeah. Okay. And then Chandra said, can you be too transparent and open with your kids? What y'all think?
Well, as adults, you guys have let us in on a little bit too much.
Oh, okay.
We are overwhelmed in that aspect.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As being grown, you know.
Yeah,
and
we don't want to know.
Yeah.
What?
Like, okay, you know, I understand that I'm grown, and you know, I do my own thing too, you know. But
What you doing?
Okay,
no,
anyway.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, like, you know, when
Okay, I got you.
but you know, but it's like, you know, there's a certain extent, like, okay, you can go this far, but don't go no further.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't want to know.
I think in all seriousness, yeah, you can be too transparent with your kids. There's some things that they just don't need to know.
Right. I agree with that.
I know that Mom always said, like, when we were younger, and if it was the case that we didn't have money, she never displayed that to us.
Mm-hmm.
We would have never known that we were broke because of the lack of transparency there. But
I think too, it's like, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to be transparent about and
Right.
what child, you know.
Yeah, the maturity.
Yeah, some children they don't need the full thing, and you got to know where their mental is.
Yeah,
knowing where they
That's
are.
good right there.
Then you can like kind of gauge where you need to give them some clarity in an area or whatever. But you got to know if they can handle it or not.
Yeah.
If they can't, then you like, okay, let me rethink how I'm going to talk to you about this, and don't just lay it all out there and then maybe.
That kind of makes me think, like, what are you about to say, and what do you want this to do to your child? Why are you saying it, and what do you want it to do?
Yeah.
Are you trying to, whatever you might say, is it something that they actually need to hear?
Is it something that's going to educate them?
Or is it something that's going to entrap them?
True.
Or put them somewhere?
Is this something that's informative?
Yeah.
Well, when y'all were younger and growing up, whenever grown folks was talking, y'all weren't allowed in the room. Y'all knew. I didn't even have to say nothing. Y'all knew to just dismiss yourself. But like in this day and age, a lot of people just allow their kids to be in there, and that bothers me because if I'm trying to talk to someone and children are in there, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Oh no, they're fine. No, they're not. Because we won't even finish our conversation if the children are going to be in here. Mm-hmm. What do y'all think about that?
I think there's always need to be boundaries. So kids know, basically, like their role in the whole, they should not be included in every single thing and every decision that you make and everything like that, because as parents, you should, ultimately you have the final say anyways. Right. And then if you have a spouse, you guys should be talking. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, everything should not be discussed in front of your child because they think that they have more power than they do. Yes. Not saying that their opinion and their view is not valued or whatever. You can always, talk to them about certain things and get their input. But at the end of the day, parents should be the head and be leading the household. Amen. And not allowing their children to take control. And then when they get older, you don't even know what to do because you're like, oh, wow, they're talking to me this way. They're doing this. They're doing whatever they can do. They think they can do and everything. And then you want to get attitude.
Because you made them grown before they was grown. Yeah.
You develop this. And so you need to just put them in their space, in their area. And, basically.
Well, I know, you at a young age, and I've apologized for this time and time again, I put a lot of responsibility on you before Apostle came because it was just us. And I was like, this is all we have. All we have is each other, me and then y'all four. So only way we're going to survive is if we take care of each other. And so I did put a lot of responsibility on you, but still in that same aspect, even though I put a lot of responsibility on you, I feel like I still had you to stay in a child's place because there were some things that I still didn't even allow.
Yeah, I still have my place, and I did have a lot of responsibilities, but it was just like more so. It wasn't that I could talk to anybody any kind of way or do any kind of thing or anything like that. I always had to be respectful. Respecting, my elders, friends, whoever, you taught us, to love and be caring and everything like that, and to know about God and all of that. So, you instilled all the the morals and values in us, and so I didn't go outside of my boundaries because I knew I couldn't, because I knew I was going to get in trouble or whatever. I still had those boundaries.
That's good. Was you going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't think so. I was just thinking, my oldest son is 3, and he is overeducated.
Right. Right.
He knows a lot. He's not yet at that point though where he can really understand the full meaning of stay in a child's place. And it's even harder because he is so educated. If that makes sense. At 3, he knows so much, but he's not mature enough to understand stay in a child's place.
Yeah, and I feel myself getting impatient with him, and so I have to,
because he talks so much.
Yeah, and he wants an explanation for everything.
He needs to understand everything.
And I'm not the person I'm the person that I don't feel like I should have to explain myself to a child.
But then when in dealing with your grandchildren or with youth or whatever, you gotta understand where they're coming from.
Right.
His parents explain
everything.
We they have a conversation about
when she was going to have the baby.
Yeah. They talk to him about every single thing. So you have to understand. Sometimes you don't want to explain it. Sometimes I don't want to explain to him, but I'm like, oh buddy, we just going to go somewhere and just chill out, calm down, we cool, whatever. Yeah. So that's my explanation, but I'm not giving you the full detail.
Right.
So you can still say something, you don't necessarily have to break it down.
And understand. That's why I say understand where they're coming from.
And I totally get it. And I've been working with kids for years.
Yeah.
For years on years. But this generation, it is just so totally different for me. And I've dealt with all kinds of different kids or whatever. But what I will say is the fact that y'all have helped me to be able to see a new light or the different aspects or whatever. Y'all laughing at me?
Stacey said why? Because.
So what do you think about the question that Chandra asked?
I think no, I don't like being transparent with my kids. I don't, because my kids.
We need you to speak.
My oldest does ask a lot of questions, and most of the time I'm like, because I'm your mama and I said so. So that's what you're going to do. That's just me, and I'm just like, I don't feel like I should have to explain. I don't explain.
So you're acting like me then?
I guess so. I'm
in that aspect.
Get yourself on and let's go. Well, where are we going? I just said, come on, let's go.
Just be happy I'm taking you with me.
I think we can find a happy medium between both. Explaining when need to, and other times just let's go.
That's basically what Elder Janet was saying, to have that happy medium or whatever. But I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I'm not in that mindset. I've had a long day and then I'm having to deal with my grands, and they get away with a lot. They do. But they will push the Nana to the limit.
Yeah.
I think the other part of that is that you are Nana.
Yeah.
You're not just mom anymore.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm up here.
Yeah.
I don't need.
You can go to your mom.
Yeah, this is not my problem.
Right. You're
Right.
not my child.
Because I'm quick to say, how much longer you gonna be?
Right.
They will be on the curb.
Yeah. I'm quick to say that, ain't I? I do not put my grandchildren on the curb though. But I will have them sitting at the door with the coats on. Okay, go ahead.
Number two. What's that about?
I know.
Having like, okay, so the number of children in a family, like sometimes, like, you know,
How can that affect?
like how can that affect the family? Well, a lot of time, sometimes it just depends. Like if some child
get on my
gets
nerves.
looked over, or
Yeah.
they feel looked over,
Mhm.
or somebody needs a little bit more attention, and kids don't always understand why
Right.
this person needs more attention at this moment.
Mhm.
But you have to always be mindful. Okay, I'm giving this person more attention right now, but let me not make my other children feel
Right.
unwanted, unloved.
Trying to have that
uncared.
balance.
Yeah.
And trying to have that balance, it's not always easy, you know, especially like if say R was going through or whatever, and I'm trying to talk to her, deal with her or whatever, and then Janet has an issue or whatever. But see, Janet was the type, if she see me dealing with one of the other kids, she was like, my issue can wait. No, it really can't, you know, but trying to have that happy medium is not always easy.
I think we can ask Aura, like every time you have a new girl, how did you balance it out? Because you know, at first it was Faith, so her cup is full.
Yeah. She was the very first grandchild.
Yeah, and then Maya comes, and it's like, okay, Faith, you got to give me some of that love, and you know, you gotta spread it out.
How was it for you, or how is it?
I think like at first, like, you know, when it was Faith and Maya, it wasn't that bad because, you know, it's only 2 kids. So,
Yeah.
you know, I can, you know, balance. You know, I got one here, one here, you know. But then when the third one came, I'm just like, okay. And then it doesn't help because, like, the baby, she thinks, oh, no, she's only my mom. And, you
Right.
know, and she makes it worse. She's teasing, you know. And I'm like, I'm all of you guys' mom, and we're going to share love equally, you know. So it's just like me having to tell them, like, okay, look, I love every one of you, okay? And I have them times where I got to hold all 3 of them,
Yeah.
you know, with my arms be tired or whatever.
We're
but,
both-
you know, right.
Yeah.
We work it out because, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got
You
to be
do.
a mother, and you got to do whatever you got to do.
You
For
do.
everybody to feel loved.
Yeah. I know, like, we had family game night or whatever. Sometimes it got a little rowdy or whatever.
Sometimes
But
I draw blood.
we did family art night. We was always doing some kind of activities together. Because to me, like I said before, I felt like all we had were each other. You know, because it was a point in my life, like I didn't feel love from my family. And I felt like an outsider or whatever. And I was like, this is all I have right here. And this is what I got to protect. This is what I have to keep close to me or whatever. And, you know, it's so many nights I would cry because I was like, when they grow up and leave me, what am I going to do? You know? And so it was hard for me. But because I felt like I didn't have nobody else. And then Apostle came along or whatever. And I was still having those moments like, okay, when the kids leave, I don't know what I'm going to do. But then also, you know, and Ray was the oldest. Ray always kind of did his own little thing. I mean, he was there, but he, you know, he kind of had his own little vibe or whatever. But yeah, he would torture y'all all the time. He would torture me. What you talking about? We try to go bike riding, and he's like, "My mama hit you," and I start screaming.
It's a boy thing.
Yeah.
It's a boy thing.
So, you know, I mean, me personally, I think our little family was awesome. We had our ups and downs or whatever, but I think overall that
Yeah, and I think that everybody well, I can't speak for everyone, but I know, I mean, I've had moments where I felt alone in the family,
Yeah.
or I felt by myself, and I know Mom has because she's talked about it before. But you feel that, and then you have to reevaluate. Okay, is it the family that's like casting me away, or is it me casting myself
Self away, right?
And then like how can we like connect or whatever? And we've always had those like meetings and stuff.
Girl, we had meetings on
All
top
the
of
time.
meetings. Yeah, anybody can call a meeting.
I think that I'm casting myself away moment is when you're starting to change, and you have to try and refit
Figure out your
yourself.
own
Yeah.
self,
Yeah.
That's good. That's real good. Okay, sometimes when like they're talking about the family, and they have a description about the first child. The first child is generally the spoiled child or whatever, and then the middle child syndrome and the baby syndrome or whatever. Where do y'all feel like y'all fit in at that?
Top and bottom. Spoiled and baby syndrome is where I am.
I feel like I had the older child and the middle child.
Yeah, I think you fit kind of both of them.
Mm-hmm. And ours is all the way in the middle.
Totally middle. Yeah, I think so. I think so. And Desi, what you mean? You feel like you was?
You said the oldest is spoiled,
Okay.
and then the youngest is the baby.
Well, the youngest is the baby, and they are spoiled, and it's a whole bunch of dynamics with the baby child or whatever. Because the baby child, sometimes the baby child acts like they are the only child.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, I think also that we need to include is that I had more rules than everyone else.
You think so?
Yeah, because like you said, you and Dad had learned by then.
How to be parents?
Yeah, and so I had more going on, but
I don't know. They were like strict on y'all and everything.
Stricter
like
on
that,
y'all
but
too.
No, we had rules, like mad rules. But
Yeah.
we just didn't always obey.
you had
the
chores.
They did what they wanted.
Yeah,
chores?
we had a lot of chores.
Yes, you had chores,
No, not
What did
really.
I do?
but you didn't do them. You always had them do them.
She didn't really do
No,
that.
like as a teenager, did I have chores?
You was
Yes.
gone a lot. So
But
didn't
you was
really have-
gone a lot. But y'all had to keep the kitchen clean and your room. But your room was, you have OCD, so your room was always.
I just don't remember having like a set thing to do.
No, we had a lot.
The dogs.
Back in the day.
Yeah, that's basically it, because you and R was always gone with cheerleading and everything.
First child created the rules. Second child causes the rules to be enforced, and third got the rules thrown out. Well, you didn't cause anything to be enforced, did you?
No, I don't think so. It was more so Ray and Desi that made us have
Yes.
the rules.
The oldest and
But-
the youngest.
But like, I mean, when we were younger, like we did have like a lot of chores. And
Mhm.
we wasn't even teenagers. We was just
Kids.
I mean, we had not a lot, but it was a lot to us
Yeah.
because we was kids. Clean the kitchen, vacuum and clean the living room.
Mhm.
Do this, do that, take the trash out.
Keep
You gotta
your
keep
rooms
your
clean.
own room clean. You gotta do homework. I gotta cook. So it was just like, but Desi, she's like, I'm tired. Okay, go to sleep. That's why I used to tell her, I'm like, just go to bed, because we already knew that it wasn't gonna get
She
done
wasn't
because
gonna
she
do
was
nothing
sleeping.
anyway. Yeah, all she did was eat, sleep, and play. That's all she did.
Yeah. So that's probably why she don't remember. That's like, go to sleep, because that was my little baby.
Yeah, she still is, because you still babyfy her. And Stacy is in on that too. If we want something done, all we got to do is ask one of them to ask you to do it. You know I'm telling the truth.
I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about.
Personalities.
She said, "What? Why is Janet the only one to remember the chores? Are you remember chores?"
I remember that one night that we got woke up. I remember that.
I didn't remember that too when I
That
was
was
real
them
mad.
dishes. That
Okay.
was when he was having one of his
But-
moments.
But Janet, I think Janet did more chores than anybody.
Thanks, we didn't, in our teenage years, me and Desi didn't do anything.
Because y'all was always gone with Monica.
Yeah. We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like I don't remember doing chores as a teenager. I just remember like
We was
coming
on the
home.
go. Okay. We was always
And the
going to
house
sleep.
was always clean, because I was always cleaning.
Yeah, we know.
But so even when y'all was younger, it was clean though.
Okay, so we're going on to personality.
I want to talk about the personality. So that kind of goes with what I was talking about just a few minutes ago. So your brother was the oldest.
Right.
What was his personality?
Wild.
Yeah,
He was just,
outgoing.
yeah.
He's just out there.
But he's still like a very like
Energetic.
upbeat,
Yeah.
energetic.
He don't
hyper,
meet a
like,
stranger.
And he's generally positive.
Yeah.
He really is.
Positive.
Except for with me and him.
Yeah, y'all
argue.
fight, but
I mean, we have a really like great sister brother
Yeah.
relationship, but then it's like if we're like together too long, then we have a whole other
Yeah.
brother and
No,
sister
there.
relationship. It goes back to the old days, but no.
So how would y'all describe Janet?
Mom.
Motherly.
Yes.
She thinks she has to mother everybody.
Well, when you think about Janet as like if she were my friend, she'd be like, what is the word when she's like, well, she's an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
She influences. She what is the word that I can't grab?
I know she's always encouraging other people.
Yeah.
She always has a positive word for other people, and that's why she is so good with the youth, because the way that she deals with them is just awesome.
She has good perspective.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
And I'm quite like I have comedy, but
Yeah. That's
Oh,
what I
you
was
got
trying to get
jokes.
to. I was trying to grasp that.
yeah.
how would you
A lot of
describe
people don't
Janet?
get that side though.
Mm-hmm.
The same.
Good storyteller.
She is. Everybody says that.
She can tell stories to the point where it was like you were there with her because she's that person.
Mm-hmm.
She goes into character really well. She can mimic your child. Like
She
no
can. She really can. How would y'all describe R?
other. Attitude. R is prissy.
She is prissy.
Yes. She
I
is
think R has more
bougie.
attitude now
Then,
than before.
yeah.
Because before she was like real calm and
Quiet.
laid back,
Yes.
except for like
She
with
still
her,
has those
her and
moments.
Desi, like they had a whole different type of relationship.
They
I guess
did.
because they was a little bit like closer in age
Yeah.
when I was younger. So you know the moments they had, I didn't have with R because like R was more chill and she didn't really bother nobody.
Nobody.
R is
She just
also-
had her baby dolls and she was happy.
She's an undercover siphon. I'm kidding. R
Don't come for her.
R is actually very outgoing, but she has to know you.
Yeah, she really is.
Yeah.
And you know what? She is goal oriented.
Oh yeah, she's a determined person. So on point. Like R is quiet till she is mad.
She is very goal oriented because if R gets something in her head, that's it.
Yes.
That is totally it. All right, let's describe the baby.
Oh God. Good luck there.
Okay, so
All I gotta say is poor Stacy.
so
What?
then she was
Comment,
like-
Stacy. Help me out.
I mean, she was very like, of course she was spoiled.
But she's very outgoing, happy
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Like
She's
brings-
goofy.
Yeah.
She brings
life to the party.
Yeah.
She do.
She
She's
is.
happy and
She has an
until she
upbeat.
look when
Yeah.
she's sleepy too.
Girl.
She be, yeah.
yeah.
She's upbeat, and I mean, like, this is goal oriented too.
She is.
and she's organized, and
She's very organized. Beautiful,
This is
quiet,
for
and
R.
mean what she say and gets
This is for
things
R.
done. Oh, that's about R.
yeah, and yeah, like that's what Desi is like, and like she's very like straight to the point too.
Oh
I
yeah,
think she
she's
gets
very
that-
blunt.
Yeah, I think she gets that from mom.
What?
Look at you. With your word.
And
Why you say
well,
she get it
because
from me?
like dad, I mean, yeah, Desi don't have that dad side, like, cause dad can give you a little bit of
He'll cut
Soften the
you,
blow.
yeah.
but it won't be as like
It's a whole like smooth, like he can give you a
He'll
good.
slide it in.
Yeah.
slow.
Look, his vocabulary is larger than mine.
Desi's
Yeah.
vocabulary is very large. But I'm just saying. She
She
gets
use
that
those big
like
words
it's just like
and then you
like
like-
bam, like I'm giving it to you how I like
Yeah.
I'm shooting.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting with precision.
Yeah.
Like, there's no gray area.
It's not. It's not.
I mean, you don't have
just,
to wonder. This is where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
This is how I feel, and it is.
She don't beat around the bush or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
Desi tells you how she feels and moves on. That's true. That is true.
Hello. Pray for me then.
Your grandma Abbott said, "Prayer warrior, self-control, get things done, good mother."
yeah, it's all those things.
Yeah. All right. Y'all do not
Okay.
don't
And Mom.
don't do me dirty.
Okay.
Don't do me dirty.
All right. So we all know that she's a slice and dicer.
Right.
Well, Mom.
I do it in love though.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
She has a giving heart.
Yeah, she's a giver,
Yeah.
and she cares about everybody.
Mhm. In that caring about everybody, she will run herself dry until she knows everybody else is okay.
And right.
That's true. Okay. Y'all did it right.
Yeah.
Spoiled. Can't
Right.
forget that.
Right.
Yeah.
And she likes to push everybody to their
Goal.
potential or their goals, and it's like, you can do it. She be encouraging too.
Yeah.
So
And oh, Dad.
Yeah, I thought you had something to say. That's why I was
that's why-
waiting.
yeah.
Oh, thank you, Monica. Mwah, mwah.
Oh my.
Let's describe your father.
Dad, Apostle, Bishop.
Samuel Doctor.
Doctor.
Bishop.
I think all his
Apostle.
credentials speak for themselves.
Yeah.
I think he a lot of times he's well, now more so he's like more of the glue to me,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like or the puzzle, put together person.
That's crazy though, because he wasn't.
He wasn't
now
that.
Yeah.
His role has changed and
At
switched.
first, he was like, I don't care. I said it, this is what you gonna do.
Right,
Say what I said.
right.
I ain't gonna say it again.
But now I think he really tries to, put the pieces together
Yeah.
and glue them. And even when we not there's friction and we not seeing eye to eye, like that look, or getting on my nerves or Mom's getting on my nerves and I don't understand this and that, whatever. Or my brother's irritating me and he can be like, okay, well, let's look at this way.
Yeah.
And,
And you come
and
at
then
it this
the
way.
Bible says.
Yeah.
Listen,
What I'm saying is.
but then it depends on who he's coming to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If
It
he's
does.
coming to me, he will full on cut me up, and I have to take it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can take a cut up.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
It-
I don't know about y'all. How does he come at
You know,
y'all?
like,
He's more
okay,
compassionate with you.
It
I'm
depends.
putting on my dad hat right now. I'm like, okay. And now I'm putting on Apostle, and I'm like, okay.
Well, it depends on with him and R because sometimes they be
Going at it,
R
don't
be
they?
acting that.
Yeah, well, he's always there.
That's the thing.
If
That
Laura
relationship
puts her mind
changed
to
too.
it, and then there's no changing this. She's
Yeah.
gonna do it. And it doesn't matter what it is. And I'm just like, yeah, but I gotta learn my lesson.
Yeah.
That's one thing that Dad has changed over time is that he's easier to talk to now.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I can remember is for a long
Before
time
you couldn't
it
talk
was
to him.
like-
Yeah, no.
There was no talking to him.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
me to what?
Our
You want me to ask my daddy
you were
what?
asking, like, Mom, can I please ask? Like, go ask your dad, like, I'm not hungry.
Or our family
Oh, you
meetings.
can night.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask him.
Our family meetings, like everybody was stiff bored. He's
Right.
like, all right, this is our, and he goes over his little list, and he,
Little.
with a long
Right.
list.
His
And
long list.
He's really feeling this thing, and most times she's
But
trying to go to
most of the
sleep.
time when we have the list, nobody wanted to say anything because we're like, if we say something,
We're gonna
be
get-
wrong
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Rules are rules.
We're in trouble.
But then when we didn't say something, he got mad.
Yeah, there was no winning. There was no winning.
Which is worse, Hat Dad or Apostle? Oh, which is the worst hat, Dad or Apostle?
I think it depends.
Most of
What
the time
he's
when
talking
he would
about.
tell me, like, I don't think that neither one of them, when he was talking to me, neither one of them were bad because he was telling me the truth. So, you know, me listening to it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand, but I'm still going to make my own decision because
Right.
that was how I was. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right there.
Which
Right.
one you think is worse?
Well, now more so, I don't really have like too many problems. Like I think so. Like he's pretty chill with me most of the time. I think.
Because he's always calling y'all in there,
But you know
wanting
what?
to talk.
Dad might be worse.
Yeah, but
Because
when he's mad about
Apostle
something, he get a
is,
little.
you know, Apostle has to be a certain
Bring
way,
order.
you know.
Mhm.
But Dad's like, okay, this is my kid.
For me, it's pretty much one and the same. If I'm getting chewed out, I'm sad and it hurts my feelings. No matter what. So
Okay, he's not my dad, so he's my husband, and then he's Apostle also. I think the husband hat for me is worse. But we, like I said, we've come a long way, and so I really can't say that it's really bad anymore because our level of conversation is totally different now.
grown.
Yeah.
And I think more so like now, like he comes from more of like with all of us protection
Yeah.
mode. Like when it's like the dad or the husband, it's more protection. And then the apostle is just a guidance and like leadership and everything like that. So it's not really bad on any like end.
Yeah.
Like, you know, before we didn't, you know, he was really just like a minister and stuff back then.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so we didn't really get too many different hats. We just really got dad and husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And it was,
How the dynamic changed when he switched from being a minister to a pastor to bishop.
Oh my God.
Apostle. Oh my goodness.
I think the biggest
transitions was
I think the biggest transition was when he transitioned from a pastor to apostle. There was
everything kind of flooded in.
Yes.
We were constantly doing something.
but I mean it was, to me, that was the most beautiful transition out of all the transitions, because to see a whole nother man,
right, he grew.
he
my goodness.
grew
Like, the thing
tremendously.
is, like spiritually, when he shot up spiritually, but then like naturally he was a whole nother person.
Yeah.
And like I mean, through the whole process, he was growing.
Yeah.
But like we've seen drastic changes, like when he became like going into the bishop and the apostle and
Mhm.
everything like that, and like so it was like really nice. Like it was like I could really talk to him.
Yeah.
And I like really felt like he was like hearing me and
Mhm.
understood where I was coming from in those moments more so.
Yeah, I think that was the greatest transition.
You can definitely see how it went from just being knowledge of the word to living it and him having wisdom about the word.
Yeah.
In Revelation, it all kind of just flourished.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you think back to the days at Hillcrest,
Yeah.
or even at Mount Carmel when he was still ministering. It's like that was a whole different person there.
Totally different.
Right. And then the Oklahoma person who was in Oklahoma.
Oh, Tulsa was dark.
I hated that. I hated that
It was
that
a
time.
dark era.
Still to this day, and your dad be like, "Dude, he has to run to Tulsa for something." Nope,
It's a
I'm
dark
good.
era.
I'm good. I didn't want to go to Tulsa, but I had to follow my husband.
And that's one thing I remember about that whole. I don't know specifically where we went, but I know that whole time it seemed like we were just in a never-ending struggle.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what went down, but I remember being in the car all the time. I remember always being tired.
Yeah.
I remember never being just
Early morning,
just
late night.
comfortable and peace.
Yeah.
It was never that.
It was like I never like really like have a foundation and
Yeah, the struggle was real.
Yes.
We were not grounded at all.
Right.
That was during that whole struggle era
Yeah.
in the relationship or whatever for all of us. I think that was the dark time for all of us.
Yeah.
So it was just crazy, but look at us now.
Right.
Mhm.
Look where he done brought us from.
And the cool thing about that is breaking down all our personalities. We've all made it to fit together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're pretty much just like, it's time for us to move on to grow something else.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
together, obviously. we're gonna plant some seeds for the next set of our family.
Yeah. It says absent parent. Well, y'all father would be considered the absent parent. So, not that Apostle was trying to take your dad's spot, but he filled in. How do y'all feel about that?
Personally, I mean, I always say, he's my dad. He's my dad. But I mean, my biological father is my dad, but he's my dad because he took care of me. He was there for me. Yeah.
Janet?
I think at first, I think like going through the struggle, because I guess I remember it more, like we were talking about Tulsa and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was just like you, how you felt like I got married for this, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom got married for this, like we struggling.
Yeah.
Now we know we broke.
Yeah.
Like we was always in the car, like,
Mm-hmm.
and and the expectations for us was high, but you couldn't really perform under those pressures because of everything.
I know I was always stressed out. I was always stressed. I really was. I was always stressed out. I was always crying. I was so depressed and all that. And to compare that time to this time, I don't worry about nothing.
Right. I mean, and at the time, we really didn't, like, I don't know if I ever, like, I was like, oh, I don't see the light. It's not no light.
Right.
Like, we in the dark. We in the wilderness, Like,
yeah,
like,
we totally were.
And, like, I mean.
Children of Israel.
Right. But, like, we had to learn. And,
Yeah.
like, the learning experience, like, it was rough at first and everything like that, and it was so hard, and we were like, oh my gosh, are we gonna make it? But at the end of the day, like, we ended up in a wonderful, beautiful place.
Yes.
Like, you know, like we went through the storm.
And the thing is, as we went through the storm, we went through the storm together, and we came out together.
Right.
And we came out better.
Right.
I feel like we came out better.
Right.
And I feel like we're on the other side. Yes, you do. It was a learning experience. We've had our highs and we definitely had our lows.
Right.
But I feel like we all learned something from those experiences.
Right.
I really do. And go ahead.
Easter's coming up.
Yeah.
The big sacrifice.
Yeah.
That saved us all and is saving us all.
Yeah.
We had to go through that big struggle.
Yeah.
And it's taught us so much, and it's taught us where we don't want to go back to.
Amen. Amen.
That was a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
The life that we lived.
Yeah.
But look where we are now.
Right.
Yeah.
And where we will never go back to.
Yeah.
Where we're going.
Yeah.
It's nothing like where we came from.
Amen.
Right.
Amen. I mean, I think that's a good closing right there.
Well then.
No, I really do. I think that was beautiful how you stated it and everything. That's true, Monica, because I was thinking about, what if I wouldn't have listened to God and not married Apostle? Girl, all of our lives would be so different. So totally different. I just know for a fact our lives would be so totally different. I might have been and lost my mind because all of y'all grown and then moved out or whatever,
We might not have moved out.
Might not have, yeah. And y'all could have ended up like I was, pregnant early or whatever. But because of the foundation, the structure that he brought to our family, because that's when I was saying, I think like I was soft in some areas because, sometimes I would give in and be like, go ahead and go or whatever, to where he like, no, God's telling me they don't need to go or whatever. And I'm like, oh, you just be tripping. You just don't want them to have no fun. This is what I would say on the inside. And then once we get in the bedroom, we'd have an argument about it or whatever. Yeah, you know, but I think I was kind of lackadaisical in that area, but him coming, God knew to bring him in when he did, because he knew that y'all needed that strong foundation, that he was that missing piece.
Right. And that's why I said before, like we never would have known the deepness of the spiritual.
No.
The deepness of God. Like,
right.
I mean, I can't say we never, but I'm saying
no,
because
you're right.
Because we went to church and we knew who God was. And,
that was the base of it.
Oh my goodness, I'm so appreciative of the revelation.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness, you know, when you're relearning stuff and you're like, okay, so that's not what it said.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord.
Because everything was
if
always
we didn't
so
know this,
yeah, it was just basic.
There was no digging deep.
No, none.
There was no like I said before, revelation.
Yeah.
You know, hearing from God and him speaking to you and telling you what this is about.
And see, that's the thing. Before Apostle came, you know, I believe that it was God that spoke to me and told me to marry him or whatever. But far as me really knowing and catching the concept of having a relationship where I could actually communicate with God, it wasn't there. Even though when I was in my abusive relationship, prior abusive relationship, and some things that were revealed to me, I didn't know it was God. You know, I was like, oh, it's a woman's intuition. No, it was God talking to me, and I was living in sin. So you can't say that God don't talk to sinners. Right. So that is stuff like that he helped me to see. You know, he helped me to have a deeper relationship with God, a better understanding. So it wasn't just for y'all, but it was for my benefit too.
It brought our whole family up.
Yes.
When we finally got it.
Yeah, and the fact that how he had you guys working in ministry, even before we were pastors, how he had everybody working in the ministry and everybody had a role in ministry. Right. Y'all might not have had roles at home, but you had roles in the ministry, you know. And for a mother to sit back and see her children working in ministry, that is just beautiful.
Right, and then at first it wasn't always voluntary.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I'm just being.
You had to play the drums. R and Desi had to sing and dance.
He was like, "Look, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah."
And you know, but then we grew to love what we did, and we grew, like, when you get that relationship and you feel the presence of God and everything like that, it changed your whole life. And so, like, when that happened, you know, like, our development just, you know, like,
grew.
Yeah.
Y'all know y'all been singing Inside Out.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said you were voluntold. Yes.
All the time. We had a duty to sing.
Right.
Was it praise and worship? I don't know. I don't know.
Ray had to pray, and he better pray heaven down.
Listen, and Dad would remix songs like
all the time. Yeah, all the time.
What was that? Jesus loves Jesus.
Boom, 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 boom. Love the little children.
Hold on, you need to talk to
red and yellow, black and white. Yeah. And then we had to do all three parts together.
I love him. Oh my goodness. Y'all should be grateful he didn't close every sermon the same way. Oh. Well, Lord. I know one thing, that when Dad started preaching, he was the only preacher I could listen to when I was younger, because I fall asleep on everybody else. You know, you getting smacked in church because you fall asleep. Mom, I don't know what he's talking about.
At least with him, even in the early years, you knew you was getting a sound word.
Yeah.
But
nobody else. We're going to pray about that.
Yeah, very impartial.
We're going to pray about that.
Daddy's girl.
She said, I'm listening to my shepherd's voice.
Yeah.
She said, I am a sheep.
That ain't my shepherd. We had some good times though. I'm telling you.
So, what are the healthy dynamics of a family?
I think, like what Janice said, communication and allowing everybody a foundation, allowing everybody to be who they are.
Support. Being
Yeah.
there for each other.
Yeah, and I think we have a good. I really think that we have a good support system here, because if one of us is going through, we all there trying to help.
Okay.
Yes. And even if you're not going through, just being able to support where the person is going.
Yeah.
And like yes, you can do it. Because sometimes you need that.
Okay.
You need that little
You
push.
do.
Like I'm doing, because I'm thinking I'm doing horrible. I'm not making it, and then you doing good. Keep
Okay.
going.
Yeah. And your dad's really good at that.
Yeah.
He is really good.
Yeah.
I try my best, but y'all don't always. Y'all just kind of look at me crazy. Okay, Mom.
No,
I just
Dad
wanna-
will send me a text message real quick, and
I just want to slip this in
Okay.
as a healthy dynamic.
Okay.
Gathering for family game nights and dinner. That's
Yes.
a
Yes.
okay.
We
You may
still
not
do that.
agree, but I need game night.
That's fun.
That is a super
It
bond.
wasn't until game night that Stacey seen my real side. No.
Elder Stacy, so do you like our game nights?
Well, what did you think of them the first time you came to a game
He
night?
probably thought we was crazy.
And loud.
Yeah.
Providing security and a sense of belonging.
Do you think our family provides that?
Yeah, because if something goes down, we're all here for each
Okay.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it's with
And
hands
y'all-
or knives.
I think everybody feels needs it.
Light.
Flashlight.
Flashlight. Not here.
Monica says sometimes everyone needs a cheerleader. That's true. That's true.
I got you.
And like I mean, like having making sure everybody feels belonging. Just,
Yeah.
Make sure like you just pulling everybody in
Yeah.
and don't just leave.
I know. I tried to do that with all of y'all, and I knew the time when Janet felt unloved and like she didn't belong or whatever. And I maybe she didn't feel like I was, but I was trying my best to pull her back in and say that you are loved, you are needed, you are worthy. You know, all these different things. Stacey said, you don't remember the first time.
You know what? We are not.
We're not going
gonna
there.
go to Monopoly. Okay.
That's a dark day for us.
It was a dark day for him.
It
Yeah.
was bad.
He's still salty about
But-
Monopoly.
I just feel like, because I never want anybody to feel like that, because I know how it is to feel like that, like you didn't belong or that you weren't loved or whatever. So I know I tried to pull her back in, try and show her love. But sometimes people don't always understand my way of showing love. What?
Well, so with the healthy dynamics, we kind of covered all the rest of them that we have on our list. I think we should also we don't have to go into detail about these, but also consider the things that make a family toxic or what's bad for the family or what can hurt your family. If we say that love and support helps, what doesn't help?
Indecisiveness.
What do you mean?
Where you say one thing but you don't back it up or whatever.
So hypocrisy.
Yeah, and then also that lying, lack of communication. Yeah.
I think
And bad personality.
bad personality.
Selfishness.
Dysfunction.
I think selfishness can damage a family too.
One that you don't necessarily think of is trauma, and I think that's a really good one on the list. Trauma can tear you up.
It can.
Yeah.
When like when we talk about
What is that one up
your
there?
perception or whatever, sometimes what was traumatic to you, the other part of the family might not even felt like
that. Yeah.
They like you tripping, but you have to understand and see where the other person is coming from.
True.
And things happen, and that cause people to feel this way, or something might have happened to them personally, and you have to pay attention. Like, okay, this person has changed.
Right.
They've shut down. They don't,
Yeah.
like to talk to people or
Mhm.
whatever. Something traumatic could have happened, and that's basically like paying attention and seeing.
Mhm. That's a big thing.
That's
Yeah.
a big subject is paying attention to each other, because
Yeah.
like you see in families where people are so focused on what they got going on that you
Mhm.
don't consider that maybe your sister or your brother needs this. They need this time instead of
Yeah.
you saying whatever,
Mhm.
or you need to consider how what you say will make someone feel. We often forget that our family, the people we grew up with, have feelings.
Right.
You
Right.
still say whatever, it just comes.
Just spewing off
yeah.
at the mouth.
Yeah.
And then you don't even realize it until they say something about it. Like, I didn't mean to hurt you in that way.
Mhm.
Some people have diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't supposed to say that?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Fine.
All right.
You know, enough to talk.
She said be grown enough to talk things out. That's
Yes.
true.
Addiction and mental illness.
I think addiction, well, I know,
Addiction to anything.
yeah, it affects the family.
Yeah.
Most
It
definitely.
kind of tears things apart in a
Mhm.
way. And I don't have a personal experience with it, but I know that it can, as it makes the person who's addicted rotten, it kind of just slowly spreads into
Mhm.
everything else.
Yeah.
So mental illness is wow.
It's
You don't always see it firsthand.
no, you
Someone
don't.
could be imploding.
Yes. Yes. I've talked about it before. I know there's been times where, like I said, I felt like I was losing my mind,
Mhm.
And the amazing thing is that it was always one of y'all who came back and slapped me back into reality. You know.
I'm like, I would feel like, oh, I don't know what to do. My kids, I love you,
Every time.
they're like, okay, God, thank you.
Yeah.
I needed this because I don't know what I was going to do.
Don't you just love kids? Listen, I could be crying about a movie, which is often.
Right.
And Matthias will bring me a tissue and just give me a hug. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because they can sense it and they just want you to know that you're loved.
Man.
I had a sinus migraine last Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And so Wednesday, when the kids see me, Matthias see me first, and he's like, Nana, are you okay? You were sick. Do you feel better? He said, I was so worried about you. I said, oh, thank you. Did you pray for me? He said, I did. And, it just brought so much joy to my heart or whatever. And then Faith came, and she's like, Nana, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, I'm okay. She said, I heard you were sick. I said,
woman.
yeah.
I heard you.
I said,
sick,
yes.
man.
And Nana wasn't feeling good yesterday, but I'm better or whatever. She said, I'm so glad. She said, I'm so glad you're feeling better. She said, because I was so worried about you.
So we got the church mother, the teacher's assistant, and the camp counselor.
Yeah.
And then we got the bad
BB.
We just got hurt.
Yeah.
What is
The
it?
outgoing.
The one off of Incredibles. Jack.
Jack.
Mental illness. Okay, y'all say y'all have experienced mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's a booger.
Have you felt like you've experienced
Do
it?
you really need to talk about
Oh,
that?
okay.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I remember the time when I don't need to get into that. Well, when I first had Matthias, things weren't really going our way. And I was just frustrated, and I had just had a baby, and I was overwhelmed with emotions. I didn't know what to do, and I was just sad.
Yeah.
But when we lost the baby, round 2, that was rough.
Yeah.
I literally just sat on the couch and cried.
Yeah.
So.
And I was hurting for you because I was like, what can I do? These are my babies. It was bad enough to see her
you
cry.
Can't take the pain away.
Yeah.
And so it was hard to watch them go through that process, and just her being pregnant and the hard pregnancy that she had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just
a small time, and it hurt.
Yeah. And
oh my goodness.
It was just so hard, and it's like, what can I do? But you can't do anything.
There wasn't much we could do but just love on them and pray for them.
And even when I got pregnant the third time, and with Josiah, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I was like, am I going to have this baby?
Mhm.
And then when the doctor called and said it wasn't a girl, I was like, Lord, what is going on? He said I was going to have a girl. You know, it's not even a big deal that, you know, he's Josiah and
Yeah.
I'm not revealing.
Yeah.
But it was more about like nothing is going my way and I need this one thing to work. You know? So I get it. That mental illness is a booger, and it kind of, I don't know, did I pull away from y'all?
You didn't really pull away. You had a few days where you would stay to yourself or whatever, but I wouldn't necessarily say you pulled away.
You could just see it in her face.
Yeah, it was written all over her face and Stacy's face. Because to see her cry, it hurt me because I don't like to see my kids cry. And then when I seen him crying, I was like, oh, I really can't do this. I can't, because of who Stacy is, you know. But
the whole experience was kind of like a fall apart. From the moment they said we lost the baby to the moment the baby was in my hands dead, I was just like, oh.
But the thing is, even though y'all went through this and it was a trauma to you guys, y'all's strength to me was amazing. Because you still got up and you still ministered.
Oh.
And when I say you ministered, you ministered. I mean, but it was just beautiful. How you have beauty in the midst of pain.
Don't say that out loud.
Oh.
No, that's good.
Man, I'm just that, and it was so powerful. It was. But it was a hard time. It was a hard time for me, even though I didn't necessarily go through it. But yeah, it was. It was rough. It was rough.
It was rough. I think all of us like went through a little, you know.
Yeah.
Not as much as you guys, of course.
No, everybody's got their thing that hit them hard.
Yeah. I mean, I have gone through some things in my life, but and I think a lot of times, like, the kids always like make me
bring joy.
Because like when Ara first had Faith, I was in a bad place at that time in my life.
That's true.
And when Faith came, it was just like God like sent me an angel, and like that was my lifeline.
It was.
And, and then I just spoiled her and did everything in the world, but
and still do. You spoil all the grandkids.
I know. I mean, all of them have their own spot and their own place with me, and I just love all of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, kids always bring me back. And then like when my grandma passed away.
Oh my God.
Like I was in a horrible place.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't even want, like, I don't know what's going on with life, and I really don't even care.
Yeah.
You know. I was like, I was rethinking school. I was just rethinking everything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do nothing. And like I knew it was gonna happen, but I just didn't know when. And it was just horrible. Like
my heart cried out for you then too, and I was just like, I don't know what I can do. I want to hold her, but I know she's not gonna let me hold her. You know.
Give her a Stacy hug.
Yeah. I mean. I had to be strong through the whole process of everything.
For everybody.
All the way to the end where I was in the room with her by
herself. Yeah. But that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean that's what she wanted.
Yeah.
You know, and if somehow, you know,
it happened.
God made this happen.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But it was like really crazy, and then like even having to go tell my family, and that was just something my brain was.
The whole room just kind of went silent for a second, and they was like all in awe, like, what did she just say?
Yeah.
And she repeated it, and they were still like in disbelief, even though we all knew it was happening. You know,
you know it's coming, but you're not ready for it.
Right? You're never prepared, totally prepared for it, or what have you.
Yeah. And you just have to, you know, continue to go through the process.
Yeah.
Even now, I still have to go through the process. It's not that, I mean, I'm just like, oh, you know, all down and I need my grandma every, you know, second or whatever. But there's moments where I'm like, okay, when I was in this situation, You know, I could call my grandma.
Yeah.
And not that, you know, she would always give me the best thing or whatever, but like just talking to her. Like, I might not even have to say nothing to her about what I'm going through, but just having her there, that was, you know, my basically security blanket or, you know, my comfort. And so going through the process, like, I mean, of course, I have to pray. I have to talk myself through it, you know. I have to get in like a peaceful place, you know, and everything like that. Just going through this whole process of grieving, or like the even after grieving, living on after death, you know, after a death or whatever.
That's one thing that I don't think, well, that you that is a family dynamic we didn't mention. We don't have to go into, but dealing with grief as a family.
Yeah.
That can tear a family apart unless, you know, they find a way to grieve together and then find the time to grieve apart and then grieve together.
Yeah,
you know, that's a process.
I think that's the whole thing with us being supportive, you know, of each other and like knowing where each other is, and like in how we deal with like
one another,
like turmoil or like situations like that, you know, because somebody might need a hug. You know, ours might not be that person, but you know.
I'll hug you.
But no, I'm not saying that I don't want to hug her, but I'm just saying,
I know what you're saying.
You know, she might need a hug, and then I might be the person, I don't want to talk about it, but I just in a minute I need you.
Give me that time.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, is that I'm thankful for our family. I am so thankful for our family dynamic, because even though Desi might not have the words to say at the moment, but then Janet will bring the words, the comforting words, or it could be or whatever. We never know.
I'm not good with that. Okay.
You know, we know somebody is going to bring those perfect words or whatever. God's going to give one of us those words to say to one another or whatever. And that's the thing. We've been through hell and back, but we did it together. As a family.
It's like we all had a piece of the rope. Even one of us might have just had a thread.
A thread, but we all had.
Back.
We all was holding on to the rope. None of us let go.
Right.
You know, it was times we wanted to let go,
right,
but we didn't let go.
And then, like, even in the times we wanted to let go, or we might have let go. So
somebody
was just like, oh no, you know, like it's like a family thing. Like, oh, we see Janet drowning. Everybody go throw the life raft out. And you gonna grab it.
I can't swim without no option.
There's no option. There's no opting out. It's
so
not.
I think that's a big thing. It's just like don't allow somebody to settle or fail. Like, I mean, you might see them falling, and you know, sometimes you gotta let them hit their head, but don't just be like, oh, you know,
and push them all the way.
Pick them up by yourself. No, you gonna make it, because you know
sometimes we gotta be their percent of the help.
Right, and that could just be you know, you praying or speaking the word and all of that. Because I know, like, sometimes my parents are like, you know, like deuces, like, to me, but it wasn't a full deuces. It was just, okay, you doing what you gonna do, but we gonna go in here and pray. Right. And so that was still, you know, them throwing the lifeline out there, and eventually I'm gonna grab it, you know, or whatever. So
it's there when you're ready for it.
So
Well, ladies, are we good? I want to thank my daughters for joining me on this evening and helping me to give Apostle the night off. I hope that you guys, what you said? I hope that you guys enjoyed yourselves. And thank you to the few people who stuck in it with us and stayed with us and listened to us, laughed with us, or whatever, partially cried. You know, a few times, especially at this end part, I know a few of us was fighting the tears back. But as a family, we have stuck together, and we will continue to stick together, continue to fight together, continue to love together, continue to support one another or whatever. And that's what we bring to Kingdom Life. When you become a Kingdom Lifer, you family, and we're going to treat you as family. We love everybody. We try to love on everybody. And we try to be there for everybody. And we just thank you guys. If you want to contribute to tonight, to Kingdom Life, we're putting them up. It's right here. Yeah, say it for me, Janet.
The giving opportunities is on your screen. There's
Yes.
5 ways to give. You can give through Cash App. You can go to mykingdomlife.org. You can give in person when you come, or by mail at 900 North May Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73107. Or you can give on PayPal,
Gazelle, all those.
Oh,
Gazelle's not
Zelle, or
okay. That's so it's not Gazelle.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. See that's why we need each other. That's why we need each other. We gotta help each other. Don't do me out. Don't do me.
Yes. Man, we would love for you to worship with us.
Yes.
So please come out
On Sunday mornings. And don't forget tomorrow night at 7:00 p.m. we will be in prayer. So make sure that you tag someone for Wednesday night prayer on tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. And next Tuesday, Apostle will be back. Him and Elder Stacy. Yes, I said Elder Stacy will be back on next Tuesday. So we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with us on this evening. We appreciate you. Any last words, anybody? All right. Thank you. Love you.